Yo, what's up everybody? I am bringing you today my $100 RFY 75mm shocks with the added 10mm bushings that are needed. Here you go. I got this idea from a picture I saw on one of the forums, did a little research, bought the wrong set, wrong size, got the right set. Got my boy at My Three Wheel Life to help me. And so what you want to do is, first you want to like and subscribe. I put out some really good videos so far. Maybe not the best quality, but good stuff. Take a look at the screen. That's what you're going to need to do. At the end of this video, I will give you all the information of all the stuff you're going to need to buy. I love these things. I feel like they've brought up the handling a hell of a lot. Here you're going to want to use one ratchet obviously to hold the nut and another ratchet to unscrew the bolt. Our jack was a little too big for the Ryker, so he had to put it up on the ramp first and then jack it up. But first you want to loosen the bolts so that way when you get it up, they're easier to take off. You're not bending stuff. There's my boy. Follow him at My Three Wheel Life on Instagram. We've become very, very tight buddies, riding buddies. And we basically just work on each other's bikes when we're not riding and when we're not doing our family stuff. So as you can see, we got one installed there. We're going to get the second one installed on the other side. Now remember, you have to take out the 12mm bushings that come inside of the RFY shock, and you are going to add the 10mm bushings. Very easy to do. You can basically just hold it stiff and pound the bushings in with a mallet while removing the other ones at the same time. If you want to see a really great install video, you can look up Bill Ramsayer Jr. I'll put a link. I pretty much followed his video on installing Elka shocks in order to do these. Here we are checking to see if we need to add additional washers to kind of fill up the space. I decided not to because the gentleman who helped guide me in this process, who's on the other side of the world, told me he didn't. He also used 400mm shocks. I went with 375. The reason he went bigger, well, that was because he drives around in rocky roads and mountains and needed to get a little bit more space, and I think he does a lot of two-up. Here's Bobby being the sacrificial lamb. Actually, no, that's not true. I did ride it first, but now I filmed him riding it. He's got the Elkas. I've been on his bike. Again, I did not do the back shock, just the front. Figure something out later for the backs. I already got some stuff cooking. But I gotta say, I was a little worried about these $100 shocks after reading different reviews and did a lot of research on what people said about them, on different applications, and I'm pretty happy. I did a really, really long, strenuous ride on the Ryker the next day with about 10 other riders. You're going to see that coming up in a minute. There's a picture of my 600. Man, she is pretty. Love that little cold air intake. There's my boy Bobby's 900. He's got everything, the tune, the pedal, the intake, the Elkas. I mean, that is a nice, sweet ride he's got there. But mine is not that far behind. Anyway, get out of the way, dog. All right, we love you. As you can see, my grill cover is white. That's the Bill Ramsayer BLR tuning radiator cover. So here we go. Now we're getting ready for the ride, which I put together. Got a crew. I was leading a bunch of guys through the canyons through LA. Now usually this is the famous Topanga Canyon, and usually my traction control on the 600 kicks in And anything over 30 miles an hour on any of these turns, which don't look too hairpinny right now, but they are. And I was really, really happy right there when I was like, wow, where's the traction control? I mean, it literally felt like my bike all of a sudden is in sport mode. Here, this turn right here, always getting some traction control. I usually always take this turn like that anyway from the inside. Now this turn coming up is a really, really tight one. Doesn't look tight, but it is, and I'm speeding through it and no traction control going on. So that's amazing. Up here, I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna have Bobby pull up next to me, and I'm gonna tell him how stoked I am. And he's just gonna tell me to screw off because he's got Elkas. And he's like, yeah, get your cheap $100 shocks out of here. This turn right here, I mean, if you go over the cliff here, you're dead. So I usually take this with caution, plus my traction control kicks in. I've learned how to ride it, and right here, maybe a little bit of traction control, but not as much as usual. Then this straightaway right here, you can usually get it up to like 60 until you hit this next left bank turn. And I can usually take these pretty fast. Here we are, still heading down to the beach. I let Bobby go in front of me a little bit now. You know, gotta let the 900 feel like they're fast sometimes. Here we are, still riding through the canyons. I think it got a little foggy here, but I'm really enjoying the ride. I'm also trying to keep it slower. Anyway, video's over. If you got any questions, hit me up. Here's some shock ideas. These are the bushings, different colored shocks you can get. Watch the BLR tuning Bill Ramsayer Jr. video for a really good installation. And make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Thanks. All right, here's some final thoughts. These handle better than stock, in my personal opinion. I'd say about 26% better. I also have a Baja Ron sway bar and end links. I highly recommend that. The shock absorption, I would say, is about 36% better without making any adjustments. Now, the traction control is where it really comes home for me. I love that it wasn't kicking in. Please, guys, like and subscribe. I want to thank these guys for helping point me in the right direction and the inspiration to get this going.
This is Gold Leader. We're starting our attack run.